Weak spots. Tanks have weak spots. Sometimes those weak spots are apparent, sometimes they're hidden, and sometimes they're enemy heavy tanks.
Go Patriot.
Oh my word, this is gonna be violent, lads!
Guns on the
My Christ! Holy shit! Today I'm looking at weak spots that are stupid. This could mean they're counterintuitive, it could mean they're pointless, could mean they're not weak spots at all, it could mean they are the Panzer IIJ. This vehicle has always been in contention for the title of most overpowered tank in the entire game. It's a tier 3 light tank with the armor of a tier 5 heavy and the gun of a farmer's mum. The perfect tank for when you need to get your dad to play instead of you.
Oh, this is beautiful. You knocked out his engine. You blocked 4,220. You just killed an M2 light. An M2 light just lammed you and killed himself.
I wonder what happened. I thought I felt a little something.
Good work, Dad! Sold originally in the collector's edition of the game, it's since appeared in the premium shop, bundled with more gold than Smaug's paws. Throughout its life, it's the one tank that you'd never expect to receive a buff. You see, the Panzer IIJ used to possess only 40mm of armour upon these rounded eminences present on the side. Now, 40mm of armour at tier 3 is fantastic, but you know what it's not? This, which is what the tank is now, 50mm of side armour everywhere. These typicals are no longer modelled, because otherwise it would have been too weak, I guess. Hello? Anybody home? Hello? I'd like to talk to you about a Lord and Saviour overpowered German light tank. Speaking of weak, the Malebranche. Despite claims by some that it's, what's the word?
Unstoppable, the Malebranche.
Yeah, this thing is like a Star Wars film. You got many weak aspects, but you still hope for a good score. Lower plates, modelled machine gun port, and cupola. I mean, look, the cupola is a wart of a weak spot. It's 150mm. However, on occasion, I'll see tier 9 and 10 tanks blessed with like 250 plus pen sitting there and taking time to aim at it. Like, if you have 250 or more armor-piercing pen, you can aim straight at the face, like right in the gun mantlet. It's a huge, flat target, and it's the exact same armor as the cheeks, 230.
You will not score a goal on me. No, you can't do that. No.
I gotta say, as a goalkeeper, you're fucking 10 out of 10, mate.
And if you shoot the mantlet or the cheeks, you not only damage the tank, but you also stand a chance of crippling the commander, loader, and ammo rack behind it. So if you're blessed with piercing power, that cupola is potentially more trouble than it's... That's not a Malebranche cupola. That's a Mauschen. My god. Now here things are a tad different, because this cupola is actually pretty damn solid. It's a flat 240mm of armour dropping off towards the outside. Thing is, the cupola of a Mauschen, when it's flat onto you, is as thick or thicker than both the gun mantlet and the front of the turret. So if you have 260 or higher AP pen, once again, aim straight in the face for both a bigger surface area to hit and a greater chance of module damage. To sum up these last two, if you have high AP pen and you see a tier 8 or 9 tank with WOW in the name, shoot it in the face. Midpoint in the video, so I'm gonna give away 2,500 gold. To enter, simply leave a like on the video, drop a comment with your in-game name and the server that you play on, and I'll pick a comment at random within 3 days and you'll get some gold. Moving on. Now, I love me a bit of side armor. Hell, I actually posted a highlight where I blocked over 10k damage in an IS-4 purely for lols. That is linked in the description. So when it comes to side armor that is downright criminal, we turn to the boats. Now, there are fewer tanks in the game that sport this boat-shaped hull, the 257, 907, and T-22SR. If there's more, comment down below, let me know. Today, I'm picking the 257. Why? Simply because it's a tech-free tank. It's a vehicle that everyone can get, and it's a vehicle that people constantly underestimate. Because the side armor of this thing is absolutely bonkers. There are not many tanks in the game that at this angle could bounce a 310mm penetration, armor-piercing, 183mm shell. Well, the 257 is one of them. And against anything smaller, or
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
so if you see a 257 and you have its side, even if you think you have an easy pen, just take a minute and aim at the large, flattened upper plate armor. Don't do what so many people do and take their AT-15s and blast away at the side of this tank, because a good 257 player might just shoot you right in the upper plate. And here's the down low, he'd be lied to. And he would penetrate almost every single time. And the 80s are well known for having ginormous cupolas as their main weak spots, and while that remains true, the changes to the armor models mean that we find a good deal more places around these areas off which we can bounce. However, that 227mm of armor that makes the cupola so enticing is also present on the upper plate, hosting values of around 200 to 220 effective armor. So if you have around 250mm of pen, as the 257 does, then the upper plate of an AT-15 is simply paper. Even when angled and using the vehicle's impressive gun arc, it only sees as high as 240, and even that only against APCR's lack of normalization. Pick up any heat shell and the entire plate here is made out of eggshells. But hold your horses, because we are not done. This trait is actually common in this line. From the AT-8 to the AT-15, from tiers 6 to 8 in this line, we find these weak upper plates. The worst of them all being on the AT-7, which only has about 150mm of effective armor on the upper plate, which can be penned by most mediums at the tier. Even for the AT-8, if you're rocking about 180 odd pen, then the upper plate is a solid target. Even for something like a 56TP, which people constantly underestimate. While this Polish tier 8 premium is not an exceptional tank by any means, it's a pleasant blend of mobility and gun handling that's been surprisingly pleasant to play. When confronted with it, however, people seem, probably due to its scarcity, many opponents seem to default to shoot the lower plate, which, in this case, is precisely the wrong thing to do. See, much of the armor down here is angled so severely that it's almost a guaranteed ricochet. This becomes even sillier to bounce off when you realise that the upper plate of this tier 8 heavy tank is about 170mm of armor at the most. So yeah, if you see a 56TP, don't respect it, just put holes in the top plate. Advice that you should certainly be taking if you're looking for a priest. In this case, the M7 priest for tier 3 American artillery. This is now a collector's vehicle, which may be a factor in their lack of prevalence. Regardless, if you do ever run into one on the battlefield, have caution, because this tier 3 arty has a frontal glacis that is 100mm thick. Yes, an M7 priest has better frontal armor than a Panzer IIJ. Of course, the rest of it is complete garbage, but don't get caught out, because if you just blaze away at the front of this thing, you are going to encounter problems. Problems such as, what is the longest reload in the entire game? Which is a question that we have answered in this video, where we got an artillery to take in excess of 300 seconds to reload a single time. I won't spoil the final number, but that is linked up here and in the description. And don't forget, if you want to be in with the chance to win 2,500 gold in World of Tanks, drop a like on the video, comment your in-game name and server that you play on, and subscribe for more content from me, and farewell.
Peabody, cheers from Germany, man. Thought I'd hide a couple silly verses, my friend. He is a nice guy like Ned Flanders, but wielding a band hammer that make viewers fear him like a gang member, yeah. You better never ever shoot versus the man, cause that's a jerk off his hand, hence you're a permanent ban, yep. Like in a roleplay game, you wield a dagger but get smashed from